So the acronym GRIT, G-R-I-T, we're talking about 4 words. Grace-filled is the first one. And I look at this passage, grace-filled is very important because Jesus dies for us. And I think sometimes we sing with the word grace, we talk about grace. It is a very difficult thing to be gracious. And you know that because if you got to be kind to somebody or love somebody who's very difficult to love, that's hard. And to think that what Jesus did was easy, it was not. I mean, just dying on the cross is one thing, but to become us, it had to be very, very difficult. It's hard to be nice to people who don't deserve it, but that's the whole point of grace, is to be generous when it's difficult. Because if it was earned, it wouldn't be grace anymore. That's the whole point of it. And it's hard to be gracious. If there's not a little pain in it, you're probably not being gracious enough. Because grace is costly. It cost Jesus his life. So nobody expects this to be easy. But that's the point. The R is resilient. Jesus never gave up on people. He could have. Gritty people find ways to not give up, to always fight. So the idea of resiliency is taking the circumstances of life and changing them into a positive. So if people rip you apart, or people make fun of you, or people say nasty things to you, you can be sad. And there's some space for that, honestly. You can get back at them. You can light them up. You can ghost them. Or you can be resilient and change your circumstances. You can't control what people say about you. You can control how you talk to yourself. And you know what? You have a lot of good things to say about yourself, or you should. You are a child of God. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. You are made in his image. You have been given the gift of life. All of these things are great, and you're all awesome. So start telling yourself that a little bit. Don't listen to some person here. Don't listen to some troll on the internet. Don't give them power. The I is to be intentional. Jesus never wavered from his mission here, ever. He was trying to get sidetracked, but he always stayed laser focused on that cross. Not having intentions, you can't do it. It's like writing a paper without a thesis. It doesn't work, right? It's just words. It's like trying to have a basketball game without a plan. Do you have a plan, Boo? Just go out there. Let's shoot. All right, let's go roll the ball out. I mean, it's like building a house without a blueprint. You have to have intentions. And one of the biggest reasons we struggle with our faith, and I'll include myself in this, is we don't wake up with an intention of being a child of God and being a disciple every day. We just go to school or we go to work with zero intention. Like if you said today, I'm going to focus on being kind. I'm going to focus on being gracious. I'm going to be laser focused on giving a little bit of joy or kindness or smile. You might do it. But we wake up and we're just like, I got to do this day again. It's Tuesday. We struggle with our faith because we don't hold intention to it. And change doesn't happen if you are not intentional. Jesus never wavered from his love for you, from going to that cross. We need to be the same way. That's gritty. And again, it's not easy. So what did you be intentional about being encouragement today? Like if you left here and say, I'm going to encourage one person. We'd have over 500 people. Imagine what this place would be like the rest of the day. Finally, the truth teller. That's the T. Jesus tells the truth. He calls us out. He says in this passage at the end to not complain, to not grumble, to work out your salvation, to be like-minded, to be a truth teller. And sometimes you just need to hear it even though you don't want to. Because the truth hurts, but the truth is so important. I don't like being told when I'm doing dumb things sometimes, but it's so important that I do. So, simple things. I'm going to be a truth teller right now. Right? Be honest. Stop lying. The average person lies every 10 minutes. I'm not saying we're average because you're awesome, but we're not always the most honest people on the planet. Or we little white lies or the soft-edged lies. Start being truth tellers. Be honest. Jesus is a truth teller because he cares. You know, he gets it because he designed it all. So stop complaining. he says in this passage. Be more positive. It's just a choice to be positive. There's a lot of things to find we can complain about, but you got to find the positives. That's a choice. He says, be content. Focus on what you have. Everyone in this room has a lot, more than a lot of people on this planet. Choose to be positive. Choose to be content. Choose to be intentional. That's grit. Grace-filled, resilient, intentional, and truth tellers.